Hello friends, this is Anupam and you are watching my YouTube channel, so I welcome you all. In this video, I will basically have one full stack application which has been implemented in MERN stack, and then I have been basically running this application on my local machine, and I will show you what are the steps you could take so that this application could be running in similar mode like developer mode, and that is very simplest way to move your application to the cloud. So I will tell you, how this application could be executed from the AWS cloud. So for this, I would be using EC2 instances to run this. So as you could see, this is the code of my application that has been hosted on the GitHub, and you could see that the file structure there. We have backend, front end, and README file. So if you want to know more about this application, but yeah, let's and for, yeah, one more important thing is for this we will be connecting to MongoDB, and MongoDB I would be using MongoDB Atlas, and I have created a cluster there. So basically we are going to be connected here with our backend application. Yes, so to begin with this, let me create one EC2 instance in Northern Virginia region with my account, and then I would be using Amazon Linux 2 AMI for this purpose, and I would be using T2 as the instance type because it is eligible for free tier. So I would not go beyond that. I will be using free tier here. Yeah, and in the instance details, I would keep it default settings for time being, and the storage also the default, and I would add a tag to give it a name so that we can see it on the main page, and I would give it as full stack app. Yes. Yeah. Then we need to configure the security group. So I will select already existing security group because I've just created it. And this is full stack app SG. You could also create the new security group, but remember to basically open port 22 and port number 80 for the security group. Just review and launch. I would use my existing key pair for this, but in case you don't have it, you need to select that create new key pair. Now this will launch the EC2 instance, and then we can go and see the instance there. Okay, once the instance is running, you can see the details, and I will grab the IP address for this one, the public IP, and basically we will connect it via SSH. So I am using MobiXterm for this, and let's go create new session there, SSH, paste the IP address which we have already copied, and give the username as EC2 user. In advanced SSH setting, use the private key, which the key pair you have downloaded. So I have this full stack app KP. I'm selecting this and say OK. It should basically connect to the EC2 instance. Once the EC2 instance is connected, so first of all, always it is a best practice that we run the command sudo yum update minus y, so that it will update if there are any updates available for this, but luckily for this one there is no update, so we can go ahead and install git. So first of all, we would need git because we are going to copy our git repository here. So I would say sudo yum install git, and I am providing option -y so that it is not asking me again, and yes to all. Yes. By this, we have now successfully installed Git to our machine, and now we would need Node.js to run this. So to get the Node.js, it is important that first we get the NVM, which is basically Node version manager. So for that, I have already copied the command. I will paste it here. Yeah. So what it is doing, it is just grabbing the install.sh file and then executing it. So now NVM has been installed, but now you would see that either you could restart the terminal to use the NVM, or we can execute below command. So I wouldn't restart the terminal, but I would execute these commands so that we can start using NVM right away. Yes, now NVM has been installed and it can be used. Now we can use NVM to install node. This will install node on this machine, and that can be verified by the command node -v. So we could see that node has been successfully installed. So once the node is also installed, now our we will get the Git repository here. So for this, I will go to Git repository, and then code, I can grab this link, and then I can say git clone, and I paste the link here. So this will basically clone the repository here. We can verify that I have a repository there, and I can go to task manager. One thing we need to change before we can run this application, and that is we need to go to backend and change the config file, because I will show you what I mean. So let me say nano, and we are in task manager. So under backend, I have this config folder, and under that we have this config.js file. So in this file, we need to provide this database location, right? So, or the link for this MongoDB database. So from where we get it? So we can get it from here, from the MongoDB Atlas, and we can see we have this connect option there. So of course I would like to connect with my application, and then you could see that there is this text or the string given. So you can just copy paste and provide your username and password, and make the changes in this config file. So once this is done, then our backend application will be connected to this MongoDB. So I will do this since it is involving my username and password. So I will pause my video and do this activity. All right, once the config file has been changed with the MongoDB details, and then we need to go to backend, and we can say npm install -d. So it will install all the npm dependency, including development dependencies as well, to the backend. Same thing we need to do for the front end application also. So after doing this, we will go to front end and execute the same command. But in front end, it might take minute or two. So for saving the time, I will pause the video then. All right, backend dependencies are installed. Now let's go back, go to front end and run the same command. It will take some time, so I will pause the video for a minute or two. All right, now front-end dependencies has been installed. Now we can see there are few vulnerabilities in this, so we can fix it by running this command. I will copy and paste this. All right, now vulnerabilities are done, so we can go back, and we are good to basically run our application. So this application can be run from the backend folder, and then you need to use command that npm run dev. So after this, yeah, you could see that I am using concurrently, and concurrently we are running this server and the client, and this you can find from the package.json of the backend. But now I think it will fail because it won't be able to connect. It shouldn't be able to connect to the MongoDB. The reason is we haven't whitelisted our IP address to the MongoDB. So let's see. Yes, now you could see that there is this error that we are not able to connect to MongoDB. So for this, what we need to do is, I will tell you, we need to grab our IP address again, because from this IP address we want to access our database. Then we can go to network access, and then we can add one IP address, and then I will paste this IP address there. Because this is temporary, so I am just doing it so that it will be disabled after 6 hours. Confirming it. Once it is active, then we should be able to run this application again. Meanwhile, I will stop uh, this execution, and let's wait. Now we have done with the whitelisting there. We can see the status is active. And now if I go back to terminal and I execute the same command again to run the application, Yeah, now you could see that server is started on 5000 port and then MongoDB is connected. So there is a connection with MongoDB and this will also start the front end. Let's wait for it. Well, now this has been compiled. There are a few warnings, but for time being, we can ignore those. And now we should be basically able to access our application from the browser. So I have already copied the IP address there. So http colon slash slash this, and this application is running on port number 3000. Let's see. So it is getting timed out, and the reason is that our security group. So in this case, let's go to security tab there, and there we have the security group. So where we have enabled HTTP and the SSH, but our application front-end application is running on port number 3000. So we need to add this. So custom TCP IP address, and I would say 3000 port number, and let's select from internet so it can be accessed from anywhere, and then save rule. As soon as these rules are saved, and if we do the loading again, we could see that our application is started. So let's test this application, and I will tell you that how we are accessing it, because I have done this exercise before. So I have some data already there. So let's go to collections, see the data, and then I would say that there is already one user I have created, test@test.com, and then I can log in with this. So I'm logging in. Hopefully I remember my password there. What did I select? Yes. Now we could see that our task manager application is working. So this is coming from the backend because there was one board created, but of course you could create another board. Let's say my another board. Yes, you can go there and you can add column. Just testing out the functionalities. We can add another column. All right, we should be able to add task also. Let's say test one, add task. All right, so now we can see that our application, full stack application, is working on EC2, and it is working well. And this was the very basic method, how I was running this application, full stack application, on my local machine. In similar way, we are running this in the EC2. So you could see there are like a lot of manual steps. But in the next video, I will tell you how to automate it, and then there are a lot of other ways how the full stack application can be run on the Amazon cloud. So we will explore those in the upcoming video series. So stay tuned and thank you for joining.